What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans. I'm your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, from realtors, lenders, builders, developers, essentially gathering insight, inspiration, really drives and motivates these top producers, tools and tactics that really separates them above and beyond everybody else in what I like to consider a real estate titan. Our very special guest and feature titan for today, Patrick Laurienti. Now, Patrick, did I say that right? Laurienti. I apologize, Patrick. I'm terrible at names, and I wanted to clarify that. But thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
It's an honor to have you. I can't wait to share your story of who you are out there to the masses, further above and beyond. So let's just jump in if you're all right with that.
Absolutely.
Cool. So I guess just start with telling everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for having me today.
For sure.
I love sharing my story and support podcasts and the whole nine. Born and raised in Colorado. Okay. I'm a native.
Love it.
Yeah, some of the few left.
It's rare. It seriously is.
Yeah. And so, just to give you kind of the quick timeline. Straight out of high school, knocked doors for Comcast for a year.
Okay.
Brutal. Good old door knocking.
Sure.
After that, jumped into a waiting job for 6 months, waiting tables.
Yeah.
Got fired, actually. First time that has ever happened. Kind of was my rock bottom.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, got my real estate license.
Unreal.
19 years old, and was like, all right, well, let's do this, right? And so, jumped in, and that was 5 years ago. Jumped in when I was 19. Close with family, they're all here. I'm a sports junkie, love sports, football and hockey to be specific.
Okay.
And I have a beautiful family at home, as we were just talking, a 14-month-old baby girl.
Wow. Love it.
Beautiful, amazing, supportive, awesome wife, Cassidy, and that's the short, down and dirty, man.
Okay, and I love that. Giving a little window into Patrick out there, I want to go right to the real estate side with that. Cool. 19 years old, thinking about jumping into real estate. What was it? What were you thinking? Was there any influence involved with that? Take us through, your thought process of diving into real estate.
Yeah. So, I was young, 19 years old. So when I got out of high school, I was actually 17.
Okay. And
so quickly jumped into the sales job at 18. And that's right when I kind of got exposed to entrepreneurship, sales, the new world. That was my first in after, how many ever years of school.
Right.
And so I loved sales. I loved, talking to people and the energy of it. But I wanted to make more of an impact, make more money, and do something I enjoy. So was just not feeling fulfilled at Comcast, and
understood.
Kind of had somewhat of a family friend, to make things quick.
Okay.
Talked to him a couple times about real estate. I've always loved houses. Like, I was the one to go to my friend's house this night just because I love new houses.
Right.
And so, I don't know, man, it just kind of fell in my lap, and it checked all the boxes.
Wow.
And just jumped in, man.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I love that thought process and going through. And again, I would say, and I'm sure you've heard this time and time again, wise beyond your years at 19 years old and having that wherewithal or foresight to say, I like people. I'm big into the entrepreneurial spirit and the sales portion. Why not real estate? And a lot of professionals that get in their late 40s. Yeah. They have a lot different thought process into the business and things that are going on into a negative. And I say the earlier the better. There's been nobody out there that I've met, and correct me if I'm wrong, that says, you know what, I wish I started later. I wish I waited a little bit. It's always, I wish I did this 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
For sure.
So having that huge advantage, Patrick, is awesome. And again, to inspire younger generations into, I don't think there's ever a bad time. It's always going to be tough and hard work.
For sure.
Which hopefully we'll get into here in a little bit. But, I think that at the end of the day, if you do work hard and you care and you're passionate, the success follows.
You got it.
So with that being said, I want to go into the next question with you, Patrick, just to give everybody a deeper window into who you are. It's the why question.
Yeah.
So I always lead into it with, what gets you excited every day, gets you out of bed, passionate about what you do to the level that you do it at? What are your whys?
Yeah. So family.
Okay.
That's a big one.
Huge.
Right. So my my life's purpose is to be an involved, loving husband and father. So that's number one.
Love
you
it.
know. They mean the world to me. My wife's always been supportive. Probably a good reason why I am here today.
Love it.
Obviously, just had the little kid, have one on the way. So,
Oh, great. Congrats. That's great.
yeah. I just really want to show them. I just want to lead by example.
Okay.
You know, that's the biggest thing, and just show them that they could do anything they want to do, and that the only limits that they have in this world are the ones they put on and impose on themselves. And so that's a big why, and it really drives me to just become a better husband, a better father, a better me and Patrick, and it even goes out to being a better me for my clients as well, and serving them the best I possibly can, because it all goes back to somewhere. It leads back to somewhere. So family's huge.
Okay.
Just building a legacy and just being in a position to do whatever I want. You know, I've always said ever since I was younger, life shouldn't have a price tag. You know, and it goes back to just, you know, the simplest of examples. You know, high school, we're hanging out with friends, and it's like, hey, we want to go here. Let's go do this tonight. They don't have gas money, and I'm like, really? Gas money's gonna? No, we're going, right? And I put in gas money, and we go do something. But the reason I use that example is because it's so little and relatable, and it's the same concept as, you know, the situations we have when we're older. It's like, hey, I want to go into this career, and I'm like, oh well, it's like, if you want to do something, do it. And so, you know, I have my goals and my dreams outlined for the next, you know, 5, 10, 30, 40 years.
Love
And
it.
I wouldn't say, you know, crystal clear on what's ahead, but probably clearer than most. And so, you know, that drives me every day, you know, because this is a part of that journey and a part of the steps I need to take in order to accomplish those things. And then, you know, I'd say the last one is just, you know, always be growing and just being a better me and experiencing new things. And so, with that, I tie it to my clients. My clients keep me going, man. They're definitely my why. There's a lot of great things in real estate. There are a lot of not so great things, but my clients.
That's so true.
Yeah, my clients, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's where I get most of my fulfillment, is just being there for them and being able to learn things and better serve them. And I always like to look at, you know, I use the analogy like, you know, the customer when you're waiting tables and you're the last person in. You're like 5 minutes before they close.
Right.
Most waiters are like, oh, you know,
that person.
And and most guests come in and they're like, oh my God, you know, they're gonna hate us and this and that. And, you know, I go back to when I was a waiter, and it's like you could come in 1 minute before we close. You're my customer. I'm going to serve you the best of my ability, just like I served the first person that walked in today.
Wow.
And make sure your experience is enjoyable. If I'm late to wherever I'm going, you're still, you know, you're going to have a good experience. And so I've taken that concept back when I was 18 to just where I'm at now in real estate, of like going above and beyond for my clients. So I'd say family, you know, just knowing where I'm going and what I'm creating.
Sure.
And then just my clients, man, that's what gets me up. That's what drives me, at least in this stage of my life.
Sure.
And I'd say the last piece to that is just, I'm super, super curious, obsessed, and excited about just growth, about just experiencing new things and just going above and beyond what I've ever thought was possible, and experiencing, you know, things that were just a dream, you know, even just being on a podcast, you know. So, yeah. It's a long answer.
I think that's a great answer. I mean, everybody out there who's going through and listening or watching this right now is really getting a deeper window into who you are, Patrick. And, you know, those things you mentioned about family and legacy and giving back to your clients and elevating that and making sure that you are providing a future for your family and the people that are around you and servicing to a higher level, I think is fantastic. But then that it's hard to describe that you're in good company with the professionals that have been showcased on the show so far. There's that, I don't want to say itch, but there's always that need for pushing the boundaries, to do more, to experience more. And I think that some people look at that as, oh, that's not healthy and you're never going to be satisfied. I have a hard time agreeing with that, because if there aren't people like yourself who aren't pushing those boundaries, no one's ever going to grow. You're never going to see how far you can go So I applaud you, and I know that you're in good company with people who are watching or listening to this right now.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. It's super inspiring, Patrick. But I want to go into the next question. I think this is a great segue into it because you had mentioned clients and things along those lines, but really growing and developing your business, and that's where this question comes into play. So if you could look back at your career thus far,
Yeah.
and pick or choose one or two things that you added to your business that took it from one level to the next.
Yep.
What was that for you, Patrick?
A plan.
Okay.
Phase one.
Yeah.
Just knowing where you're going. Because when I first started in the game, it was like, just going and trying every different little thing I could think of, or I go to a seminar, they give us ideas and business concepts, and it was like I was just flapping my wings through there, hoping I'm gonna fly, and
Right.
my business really changed when I had a plan. And the funny thing is I would say a third of that plan actually got executed.
Okay.
So I think just the importance of having a plan, having clarity on where you want to go, because that's part of having a plan,
Sure.
and just putting that in motion, regardless if you actually execute all of the plan or not, it just sets something, in force that can't be stopped.
Right.
So, like I said, regardless if you do the plan, if you have one, chances are you're going to be better off. And so for me, that's really when my business changes, when I finally sat down and drove a plan. And I thought I had a plan, right? Before then, but I didn't really. Like, I wasn't super clear on where I wanted to go, what I was going to do, why that was important.
Wow.
And so, I think a lot of people think they have plans, right? It's like, yeah, I want to be the best realtor here. I want to make this much money. It's like, that's not a plan. You know what I mean? That's not going to get you there. That's
Right.
great that you have that labeled.
Sure.
Why do you have that labeled, and what are you going to do to get there? And I would say the what isn't so important.
Okay.
Just put down as much as you possibly know, as I did, and when you put that in motion, all the things you're going to need in order to accomplish that goal will come to you.
Sure.
So a plan is super, super huge. I'd say that's the one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going into that and just touching base with everybody here too, it might sound so simplistic. And, well, yeah, of course you should have a plan. But as you stated, there's so many people that make statements. I want to be the best realtor. I want to make X amount. That's a statement. That's not an actionable item to reverse engineer and say, if this is the goal, these are the actions and the steps that I need to consistently take to get there.
Yes.
And that's really what Patrick's getting at, to my opinion, and I think that that's brilliant. And that's always going to evolve, and that's always going to change. And the top producers always treat business like a business, right? This is a people business, and we all understand that, but you have to be the CEO of what you do and where you go, and the time that you spend and how you do it. And I love the fact that this man's mentioned it. I want to mention something else, though. So with show.
Yes.
So I think that that's something, a huge value add to all real estate professionals into that realm. So would you mind sharing a little bit about show?
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny off note, you said the second thing that has taken my business to the next level. You would think it'd have the opposite effect because I'm splitting my focus, but I've been with show for the last 2 years and had both my record years in those. Yeah, it was just like, I don't know how, it's incredible just what happens when you go after what you love and you're passionate about it and you have a plan and you just charge forward. Everything just falls in line.
Wow.
But yeah, thanks for bringing up show.
Yeah.
So show is started out as a personal problem in my business.
Okay.
Like, I needed help showing homes.
Right.
And excuse me, before that, when I got into the business, I again was fired.
Right.
I didn't have much money. My managing broker was like, "Hey, I'll give you $50 an hour if you go show homes for us over the weekend when you want on vacation." Yes, absolutely.
It's money coming in the door.
Yeah, and to keep the story short and simple, fast forward a year after that, I was in the other boat. I needed somebody to show house for me.
Wow.
Sunday evening, we had a family party. Super stoked. I love family parties.
Yeah.
I'm sociable. Free, great food, great conversations, and love seeing family. And it was a birthday party, and I had to miss it because my clients wanted to see a house.
Wow.
It was an hour and 30 minutes away, so plus showtime, plus the ride back. it was like the whole time I just couldn't stop thinking what I would have done to get the neighborhood realtor to open the door for me. So
Wow.
that's where show really started. And I said, driving down the mountain, I had the thought of, what if we put it in an app like Uber?
Mhm.
And when I needed somebody, I scheduled it on the app, pinged out to realtors, they accepted it, showed the house for me, and I'm done. Pay them an hourly fee. Client's happy. I get to go to the birthday. Makes sense.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you,
Absolutely
man.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's been an amazing roller coaster. It's beyond what I ever thought in terms of what I expected.
Okay.
You know, in terms of effort. Like I didn't know you had to put that much effort in getting there. So
Right, sure.
I mean, show's great. We've been launched for close to a year now. We're
Okay.
gaining a lot of traction.
Huge.
A lot of people on the platform, and I would say it's going to be big for agents to be able to have that leverage point,
Okay.
because when you're a realtor, the only thing that's not really scalable in your business is showing homes.
Right.
You physically have to be present.
Right.
Even client meetings, you could do a Zoom or a phone call. Showing homes, you have to be there in a timely manner. And so by being able to utilize this app, one, it's already helped me, mostly in the area of my life of family,
Okay.
right? It's like,
Huge.
you know, hey, client, I love you. I'm going to make sure you get in the house. Here's my showing assistant. Wifey, I love you. Daughter, I'm going to spend time with you. We're having dinner tonight.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like, oh gosh, sorry, I'm going to miss another dinner,
Right.
you know? And so, yeah, show's been a huge blessing. It's a super valuable tool for realtors.
Love it.
You don't have to go out, hire somebody and pay, you know, unnecessary overhead. Just do it when you need it, man. Use it to leverage and scale your business. And so thanks for bringing up.
Yeah, no,
it's-
seriously, Patrick, that's a huge value add. And, you know, everybody out there who's watching or listening, please take a look at this. What's the best way for everybody to get access to show and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's www.getshow.co.
Okay,
So it's GET, just get it, right? So
Yep.
getshow.co.
Awesome. Getshow.co. I'll have links in the comments down below, so please take a look at that. Awesome value add. And the list goes on and on and on, but we got to keep pressing forward. Patrick, this is really, really great stuff. I want to shift gears, though, on this particular series with this interview, and it goes to the tricky part, which is a challenge question. So I lead into this with every Titan with the fact that we all have challenges in our lives, whether it's in the past, now, or into the future, whether it's personal challenges or professional ones.
Yep.
We all deal with them. It's not so much what happens, but how we respond and learn and can share from, in my opinion. It doesn't downplay the challenge.
Yeah.
But if you're comfortable sharing a challenge or two
Absolutely.
with the audience, what's that look like for you?
And you're talking just generally like challenges throughout my career.
Yeah, your career, your life. I mean, we've heard almost anything that you can imagine that people deal with on a regular basis, personally and professionally, but stuff that you've overcome, that you've learned from and can share.
Yeah, man. Tons and tons and tons and
Sure.
tons of challenges.
There's our laundry list, right?
Yeah. I want to first start out by saying what's really propelled me forward in life and just being able to deal with those challenges, you know, head on is just accepting them.
Wow.
You know, and just loving yourself and accepting that we all have challenges. You know, sometimes they feel worse than others, right? And sometimes you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you get into your mind and it's like, why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Everyone has challenges. It's just part of the game. It's natural. It's the universe's way of showing you and teaching you what you need to know in order to accomplish the things you need to accomplish in your life and live a truly fulfilled life. And so I have tons of challenges, man.
Right.
I would say, and we'll talk about this one right now because it's probably the most fresh, is the challenge of myself.
Okay.
So, you know, we went through just a pretty hectic period of life in the last 4 months. My wife and I, we got the baby girl.
Sure.
She just had her first birthday. So awesome.
Wow.
But we just bought our second house.
Okay.
We rented out our previous house to my mom and then had to move my mom out into that house, our old house, into the new house. It was bonkers, man.
Wow.
I had to find a renter. My business blew up. You know, our president of show stepped down. Some changes there for the better. I mean, but it's just a lot going on. But it really, the greatest thing about it all is it really helped me just recognize patterns and stuff and just see the gaps, right? So in times of craziness, the great thing is like at the end of it, you always learn something. And so one of my biggest challenges recently has just been myself, man.
Yeah.
I am my biggest critic. I think a lot of us entrepreneurs are.
Right.
And something relatable is when I hit my first 100K, sold 20 sides, I was 22, it was like a very short-lived success. It's like, great, that's cool, but, I should be doing 30 or 25 or, I need to hit 200K now. And that has been a constant in my life for so long. And what I've realized recently is I'm going to just be very transparent, open and real here, and obviously vulnerable, but there was a time where I felt like I was my own slave master, whipping myself.
I hear you.
Right? It's like, just love yourself, love all that you've created, and accept it, own it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love yourself, enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and stop holding yourself to expectations, and just enjoy the moment, man. So that had been a big challenge for me, and in addition to that is my self-talk, right? So it kind of ties in with each other, but I, again, my own worst critic. So it's like, I do 10 amazing things, right? But it's those 2 that didn't get done. And I talk and focus on that. Yeah, and it's like, it wasn't a productive day. My wifey calls me out on it all the time. And it's been great because she's helped me realize all these things that I'm saying that really have a massive effect on my life that I just didn't even know about. So I would say my biggest challenge has been me getting in the way of myself and not enjoying myself and my success and what I have created. And regardless if it was where I expected to be or where I want to be, it's just where I'm at. And there's a lot of power in just loving, being aware of it, and accepting that. So that's the challenge of self is big, man. And then other challenges, let me think if I could, I think that really is the underlying constant that has been the core root of all the other challenges of my life. I mean, I've been in a 7 to 8 year, November 1st was our 8th year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
2
great.
years married.
That's great.
So with a significant other for that long, there's challenges within that.
Oh gosh, yeah. Everybody knows that. It's work. That's work.
It is.
For sure.
You have to work as hard as that on that as you do your business, and so there's been a lot of challenges. I think the only thing I could say is just accept where you're at, accept that challenge and love it, and understand that it's there for a reason to show you what you need to be shown in order for you to move on.
I think that's a beautiful share, Patrick. And again, I want to thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with everybody out there, because it's not easy. And again, like you said, we all deal with struggle and challenges, but no matter what you're going through, you've learned from, you've grown from, and you try to make the best in light of those situations. And that's how you grow. And those are the best learning experiences and how we can change as people. And I think that that's echoed throughout, the internet all the way through and through, probably not as much as it should be. People tend to focus on those few tasks that aren't complete. And most of us do. But be appreciative to where we are on that journey. I love everything you said. I mean, I think there's so many people out there that are literally digitally nodding, saying, yeah, Patrick's got it. He's right. An entrepreneur, hardworking, really high scaling. We all have trouble. Just keep pushing, keep growing. Surround yourself with positive people. I think you're going to be good. So, but thanks for sharing that. It's not easy to do without everybody out there. But all right, I want to shift gears to a softer question.
Cool.
So we made it through the tough stuff, everybody. But this one ends up being the travel back in time portion. So if you could travel back in time, and give your younger self a piece of advice, any time frame, any age range, what would you say to young Patrick? And it could be funny, professional, personal. I mean, would young Patrick listen to older Patrick? I don't know. So what would you say to your younger self?
You are, I'd use that word right there, but I'm not gonna. You're effing awesome. Just like go to my younger self, and like you yourself are an amazing, awesome freaking person.
Wow.
Don't let anyone dull your shine. Be funky, be weird, be, controversial, stupid. Just be 100% you.
Wow.
And all the thoughts and opinions and, others saying what you can and can't do or what's right or wrong, just, take a lot with a grain of salt and
Okay.
just stick true to yourself, man, and
Wow.
dream big, right? So dream big, stay true to yourself.
Okay.
Don't listen to others. Goal, right?
Which is easier said than done, right? And I think that's huge advice, not just for young Patrick, but everybody who's watching or listening to this is you really have to just forge forward, and there's going to be a lot of opinions. There's going to be a lot of people who maybe don't understand, or a lot of terms that are thrown around as haters.
Yeah.
Let them hate. Let them have their opinions.
Indeed.
I love everything you said, Patrick. I think that's right on.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so hopefully it's inspiring some people out there. I know it's doing it here. So I want to shift gears on this, and this one ends up being one of the crowd pleasers out there. It's the feeding of the mind question. So this one ends up being the books you're reading or read, podcasts you're listening to, influencers of social media coaches. Patrick, how are you feeding your mind?
Yeah, so I'd say this year in particular, the big one I've been doing is conscious transformation. Not sure
Okay.
if you've heard of it.
No.
His name's Joey Klein.
Okay.
It's not a lot of people know of it, man.
Okay.
I'm quite surprised. He's probably got some of the best teachings I've ever experienced, heard of. My buddy Kim in Sylvania introduced me to the work. He does 4 weekends, and they're like the foundational, work of what he teaches, and it's power of intuition, focus, emotion, and vision. And so that, man, has changed my growth, my understanding of things, myself, beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
Unreal.
It's it's like you read all these books about law of attraction and energy and all this and that and this, and like Joey gets real deep into and has a very, very it's his superpower of being able to take the average person and helping them understand that.
Wow.
And what it actually means and how real it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And tying in real experiences, and it's been incredible. So that's been
Love that.
my big thing. 'Cause
Okay.
usually I go to seminars or, I do 2 or 3 a year.
Okay.
This one I've kind of just focused on this specific one, 4
Wow.
weekends this year. So there's that for actual external going and doing these big ones.
Yeah.
Outside of that, books, I usually read whatever one is recommended to me and whatever's right at that time. So
Love
if I'm
it.
looking to learn more about marketing or myself or consciousness or whatever it may be, right now I'm reading Stillness is Key by Ryan Holiday.
Okay.
Yep, my buddy introduced me to that one. That's huge, man. I'm not too far into it, but it talks a lot about presence and being aware and just being still here in the moment right now. And that's where you operate the best from, right? It's kind of like flow.
Yeah.
They all kind of intermingle with each other. Podcasts, oddly, man, I don't listen to as many podcasts as you would think.
Sure.
I like Joe Rogan's.
Oh yeah.
His is great,
For
man.
sure.
His
Shout out
is-
to Joe.
His is great. I would say more for entertainment
Sure.
podcast. Obviously, he has some good things about business and stuff,
gosh,
but
yeah.
his is more entertainment. The Hot Ones, love that one.
Right.
Again, entertainment. I do a lot of YouTube videos,
Oh, love it.
just like the 10-minute. Usually, I just hop on the homepage and whatever's there.
Okay.
The 10-minute, not necessarily motivational anymore. It's more like these guys doing the 10-minute talks or something like that.
Huge.
So those are the big ones, and then I meditate, usually daily.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
big.
usually don't miss. And Joey Klein, I have his thing I go to. Right now, I'm doing Deepak Chopra, so
Okay, yeah.
I kind of mix it up. It just depends on where I'm at, but I am always feeding myself. I
Okay.
mean, whether it's a 10-minute YouTube video here or there, a quick book, doing exercises that Joey Klein teaches, a meditation. Every day I do something.
Wow. And I think that the mix of everything you're doing is well-rounded, and you're supposed to be that way. You're feeding your mind, business-wise and thought process through marketing and obviously through real estate. But then on the personal side, you're taking the time to relax and unwind. And but I love that you're listening and you're watching on YouTube and you're reading physical books. So again, it's that mix out there for everybody that I think really does matter. So just so everybody knows, I'll have comments down below, a list of everything that Patrick has been talking about, so you can follow along and feed your mind the same way that this man does. Patrick, this has been chock full of amazing information and takeaways, and really for people to get to know you deeper.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's been fantastic. I want to wrap everything up with a final question.
Cool.
This one ends up being a quote or mantra that you live by that sums you up as a man, as a professional. What's that look like for you?
Yeah, that's a good one. I've got a couple.
That's
a
tough.
couple.
That's tough.
One of my favorite quotes is you don't have to be great to start, you have to start to be great.
Wow.
That's resonated with me, and of course, as we're talking about it, I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it's Zig. I'll get you who said that.
Yeah.
I just love it, man, because I think it talks, and everyone can relate to it, but it really talks to just, in business and life, like, stop worrying about making everything perfect. Like, just go do it.
Right.
Because nothing gets done unless you do it, right? And
Sure.
so, it's been a mantra for me. It's allowed me to kind of just jump in and take risks and say, hey, I want to do this. All right, let's go do it.
Love it.
Doesn't matter if show, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm not a developer. Never developed an app in my life. I was 22.
Think about this.
Never done a startup company. It was,
Yeah.
I have a phenomenal idea. Let's go do it,
Right.
right? And so that's a big one. And then Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm gonna mess this one up.
No, you're good. You're
I think
good.
he says the greatest gift you can give to this world, who is constantly trying to make you be someone you're not, is to be yourself. And so that one resonates with me, and I only saw that one and heard it like a year ago, and I was like, this is my new favorite, man, because it truly is a beautiful thing when you can truly be yourself, man.
Well said.
And I think the greatest success you could ever have is that. Because when you are truly yourself and you understand yourself and you're authentic with that and lead through love, because that is truly who we all are,
Right.
at the core basis of it, every part of life is just great, man. And you're able to show up more powerfully others, connect with people better. It's just a beautiful thing, man. And a lot of people, you've got media, Facebook, you've got all these influencers that you look at and you look up to, and I think a lot of people, myself included, maybe that's why this resonates so deeply,
Sure.
is you see that and you're like, oh my God, that's what success is. That's
Right.
what I need to do, and that's where I need to be. And, it's been a hell of a journey just getting to a place of just self-acceptance and love. I'm probably not even there yet, but I do know, 4 years ago, I'd look at those guys and be like, oh, I'm not there, I suck, or I'm not successful. And now it's like, I'm almost not even aware of influencers online. I am, but
Right.
not like fanboy as I used to be. I do
Sure.
fanboy sometimes,
Right.
but it's definitely more of like, loving myself first and just
Right.
defining my own definition of success and happiness and fulfillment and joy and love, and that's what really matters,
Wow.
So those are the two quotes, man.
Patrick, you summed it up beautifully, my friend. And again, hopefully everybody really appreciates the time that you took. It's been an honor. You're an official Real Estate Titan, my friend.
Yeah,
thank
thanks,
you
man.
so much.
Yeah, of course.
Absolute pleasure. And again, everybody, thank you so much, as always, for your time and attention, your love and support. If you like what we're doing here with Real Estate Titans, please don't forget to like the Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and have a listen on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Live every Tuesday and Friday afternoon, a different Titan, a different location. We'll catch everybody on the next live episode of Real Estate Titans. Take care.